Clarence Gun Attack, which left 80 dead, was an act of terrorism, says Cousins. Member of Parliament for Clarendon Southwestern, Luther Cousins, has described Sunday night's brutal gun attack on Cherry Tree Lane as an act of terrorism. The incident left 8 people, including a 7-year-old boy, and 9 people injured. Last night, residents of this community were randomly attacked in an act of terrorism because this can only be described as a terrorist-like attack. I don't think there is any other way to describe it, Cousins stated. He said that he believes that a shooting of this magnitude had not occurred in Clarendon and the wider Jamaica in a very long time, and that families of those affected by the shooting are now in need of support. I don't think we have had any shooting of this scale and magnitude in and around the parish of Clarendon or Jamaica as a whole in a very long time, and we must stand in solidarity with the families and those who have also been affected in an adverse way, those who are in the hospital, those receiving treatment, the MP added. Cousins stated that it is a dark day for the constituency, while issuing a warning that if the right measures to fight crime are not in place early, then there will be more incidents like these. What I can tell you, it's a very dark day for the constituency as a whole and for the wider Jamaica. And it's just going to show that at the end of the day, no matter how much we try to fight this against crime, if we don't put the right measures in place from early, we will continue to have incidents like these, he said. It is reported that gunmen carried out 2 attacks in Cherry Tree Lane on Sunday. In the first attack, residents were gathered at a car wash in the community around 8:45 p.m. for a birthday celebration when a white Toyota Axio motor car drove up and 3 men armed with guns alighted from the vehicle. The men opened gunfire at the group of people who ran in different directions. When the shooting subsided, it was discovered that 4 people died on the spot and 3 others were pronounced dead on arrival at hospital. Police reported that the armed men drove from the car wash in the direction of the Maypen bypass and, on reaching a section of the roadway, while still in Cherry Tree Lane community, stopped at another gathering. 2 men reportedly exited the vehicle with handguns and opened fire at the group before escaping. 1 person was shot and killed.
We have done a lot of work around that investigation so far. Today, the Prime Minister and the Minister of National Security visited the scene to get an appreciation of what transpired. We are following a lot of investigative and operational leads, and as we have indicated before, the security forces will ensure that justice is done and that closure is brought to these acts that were committed by the vicious criminal. We have engaged the major investigation task force, the headquarters led by Superintendent Hilton, as well as the criminal investigation branch, which is headed by Acting Assistant Commissioner Wayne Joseph, who is actually coordinating the investigation. We are giving this investigation the highest level of attention. We are focused, and we are going to ensure that the victims of the crime, they do get justice.
4 armed motorcyclists arrested in Cherry Tree Lane. 4 armed men riding motorcycles have been arrested by police just meters away from where 8 people, including a 7-year-old child, were killed on Cherry Tree Lane Sunday night. Information reaching reporters indicate that the bikers were on their way to an area where they believe the men involved in the gun attack before are from. Lawmen who were on the scene following the shooting on Sunday arrested the men. The firearms and motorcycles have been seized. The Cherry Tree Lane community is now under curfew. Motorcyclist killed in motor vehicle crash near Green Island Police Station. The Hanover police are probing Friday morning's motor vehicle accident in close proximity to the Green Island Police Station, which resulted in the death of a motorcyclist. The deceased has been identified as 47-year-old Horace Campbell of a Cardwell, Hanover address. Reports are that about 12:50 a.m., Campbell was driving a motorcycle on the Green Island Main Road when, upon reaching in the vicinity of the police station, the motorcycle collided with a motor truck that was traveling in the same direction. The motorcyclist reportedly fell onto the hard asphalt road surface, sustaining serious injuries. He was transported to hospital for treatment, where he later succumbed to his injuries. St. Elizabeth residents continue protests over lack of electricity. Residents in St. Elizabeth for the second consecutive week have mounted roadblocks to express their frustration with the pace of electricity restoration in parts of the southern parish. A police source on Monday confirmed that the Smoothland Main Road is among the areas left impassable as residents use trees and other debris to block the road in protest over the lack of electricity. This is the major thoroughfare for motorists traveling between Leeds and Santa Cruz, stated the source. Residents told reporters that the Marysville Main Road and Southampton areas are also blocked. Last month, the Office of Utilities Regulation or issued a directive for Jamaica Public Service JPS to repair its damaged network infrastructure and to follow it through by August 12 schedule. This is to ensure restoration electricity to customers who lost power during Hurricane Beryl 5 weeks ago. However, on Thursday, JPS advised that it has set a deadline of August 31 for sections of St. Elizabeth, where its network was worst affected by Hurricane Beryl, the power to be restored. Police charge man suspected of shooting at officer. The police have arrested and charged a man who is suspected to be the perpetrator of the shooting and serious wounding of a police constable and another man in Clarendon on Friday, July 26. He has been identified as Kurt Messom, otherwise called Nico, a 27-year-old delivery man from Inverness Drive in Sandy Bay, Clarendon. Messom is charged with 2 counts of wounding with intent, unauthorized possession of ammunition, possession of a prohibited weapon, and using a prohibited weapon to commit a felony. Reports are that about 8:30 p.m., the policeman was at a church event at Inverness Drive in the parish when he heard explosions nearby and went to make inquiries. The officer was reportedly greeted with gunfire. The police said the officer returned gunfire and the gunman ran. When the shooting subsided, the officer was left nursing a gunshot wound to his abdomen, while another man had a gunshot wound to his buttocks. The police launched an investigation, and Messom was later identified as a suspect in the shooting. He turned himself into the police accompanied by his attorney on Friday, August 2nd. PNP caretaker demands Holness declare St. Elizabeth disaster area in Hurricane Beryl's wake. People's National Party PNP caretaker for St. Elizabeth Southwestern, Miranda Wellington, who believes the government has been negligent in the way the southern parish has been treated since the devastation of Hurricane Beryl, is calling on Prime Minister Andrew Holness to declare the entire parish a disaster area. The Prime Minister's failure to act decisively is not just a drop in the bucket, it's a deluge of indifference. While our constituents are drowning in despair, the government seems content to watch from the shore, Wellington said in a new statement on Sunday. She emphasized the magnitude of the disaster demanding immediate action from the highest levels of government. The Prime Minister's visit in the hurricane's wake should have been a watershed moment. Instead, it was a mere trickle of concern, she remarked. A high-level task force should have been deployed faster than using the state of emergency, with all relevant agencies mobilized to stem the tide of destruction, she further stated. The PNP caretaker painted a grim picture of the parish's current state. Thousands of residents have been severely affected, with hundreds of roofs destroyed and scores of families displaced. Water and electricity supplies have been disrupted for over a month, with the Jamaica Public Service Company projecting no power restoration until September. In Jamaica's breadbasket, we're now facing a famine of resources. Our crops lie decimated. Our fishing industry is on ice due to destroyed equipment and lack of refrigeration. The government's response, as useful as a chocolate teapot in this crisis, Wellington lamented. She went on to propose a 5-point plan to address the crisis. Prioritize electricity restoration to water pumping stations. Coordinate a concentrated effort to restore power parish-wise. Provide roofing supplies to affected families. Also, initiate discussion on government programs to support farmers and fisher folks. Finally, implement an on-person programs to sustain vulnerable residents. These aren't pipe dreams, these are necessities. It's high time that the government stop treating St. Elizabeth like a forsaken backwater and recognize it as the vital artery of Jamaica's agricultural heartbeat, she stated. We demand action, not empty promises. St. Elizabeth recovery isn't just a local issue, It's a litmus test for this government's commitment to all Jamaicans. Will they rise to the occasion, or will they leave us to weather this storm alone, the PNP caretaker asked. Remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.